It's the most beautiful day in the world. Hi everybody, welcome back. Hello everybody, welcome back. It's a beautiful day today. The sun is out, it is feeling springling, and I'm very excited. I'm in such a good mood. So, this week is Thriller Horror Week. Woo! I'm reading Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. I haven't started it yet, I'm terrified. I'm scared. Irina is in a rut. She obsessively takes explicit photographs of average-looking men she scouts from the streets of Newcastle while her dead-end bar job slips away. She's more interested in drugs, alcohol, and extreme cinema. When she's offered an exhibition at a fashionable London gallery which promises to revive her career in the art world, it should feel like an escape, but the news triggers a self-destructive tailspin, drawing in her obsessive best friend and a shy young man from her local supermarket who has attracted her attention. For my mother and father, please don't read this. No. Oh no. Okay, well, I'm gonna start there. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. I can't lie guys, so far I'm not really enjoying this book. It's just basically been like 100 pages of drug abuse and, in my opinion, quite like careless moments of trigger warning sexual assault. So yeah, I don't know, it feels like it's trying to be like grungy and dark, which I suppose is the point, but it feels pointless in my opinion. Maybe it's just not my kind of book and maybe I'm missing the point, but as in, I think I know it's supposed to be grungy and dark, but I don't know if I enjoy that being the point, because it's not that fun reading about people doing drugs for 50 pages, and it's not that fun reading about a very flippant moment of assault. So yeah, so far I'm just a bit like kind of bored and also kind of grossed out and just kind of like, where is this going? And I'm only 100 pages in and it's like 300 pages long. Yeah, I am going to finish it. I'm going to sit here and try and read as much as I can, but it's just kind of making me feel a bit ill. Like I just have kind of like an icky feeling in my belly. Yeah, it's described as a fiction contemporary horror. Okay. I would say so far it's just like a contemporary literary fiction, but just kind of grim. But I'll keep you updated. So far, not so good. Nana! No, you pretty girly. Just girly. Oh, I just love you so much. Hello guys. I finished it and I was not prepared for this book. Where is it? Where have I put it? I finished Boy Parts by Eliza Clark today. I was not mentally prepared for this book. I have so many words but also so little. Like I genuinely don't know where to start. My initial reaction when I finished this book was honestly to give it 1 star. Like I really didn't enjoy the experience of reading this book. So let me start from the start. Boy Parts by Eliza Clark is essentially about a girl who lives in Newcastle and she is a photographer and she specialises in like fetish art. Well, that's kind of what she's going for. So she picks up men, models, and then shoots them in these very extreme scenarios. It's following this woman and her process of photography and kind of culminating in... Honestly, I wasn't prepared for this. I knew it was like I knew that it was dark and I knew that it was going to be a bit strange, but it was not what I expected at all. The fact that this says fiercely current on the front as a review scares me, because if that's what fiercely current is, I want nothing to do with it. I think on the back where it says explores the darkest corners of artistic practice, sexuality and violence with bold wit and fearlessness. Like honestly guys, I think I can, right, so when I think about it as like a literary piece of work, it brought out all of the emotions in me that I'm sure the author was going for. I was revolted, disgusted, scared at points, reading, and I was just thinking, this is just kind of grim and kind of making me feel a bit rubbish. And when I finished this book, I needed a nap. I did not want to pick up another book. I felt really quite like disturbed for a hot second there. I don't think I'm one of those people that can read books that are purposefully disturbing or like purposefully hard to read. It's like people who enjoy watching films that are hard to watch. I also can't do that. Any kind of violence, anything like that is not my cup of tea. I can do horror in the sense of like ghost stories, like they make you jump a little bit. It's a ghost, we know it's not real, it's fine. But when it's to do with real people and things that can actually happen, that just terrifies me, because I want to stay in my little world where everything is roses and okay, so my initial thoughts when I first started reading it was I thought it was very witty. I thought the narrative voice was funny. Like, I genuinely laughed out loud quite a few times because of how ridiculous some of the things were that was happening, which I'm sure was meant to be the case. It's dark, it's very, very dark humour. It's gruesome, it's dark, it's fetishy, and genuinely, if you are into that, then you're gonna eat this right up. For me, this was my first experience reading something this dark and this disturbing. I don't think this is my cup of tea. I honestly, sitting in bed reading this, I was like, what is going on? Why am I consuming this for fun? When I first started reading the book, like I said, I thought it was kind of witty, that I knew it was dark humour, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll strap myself in. But honestly, for the first like 100 pages, I was kind of bored. Just kind of talking about this like chaotic lifestyle, just like doing drugs and not eating very much. I think also there's a lot of trigger warnings for this book, so many, like I will list them here, there's so many, and honestly a few of them just hit a bit too close to home, and I just didn't feel comfortable reading about it, especially with this dark humour twist on it. And so some things I felt were quite careless or reckless, but I suppose if it's from the narrative voice of the person speaking, then it makes sense. But like, it just made me feel really uncomfortable. The topics in this just made me feel really like icky and uncomfortable, basically. So for the first 100 pages, it was basically just like, okay, cool, so you do drugs, you don't eat, like, where are we going with this? And then it starts to get real crazy in the final like third of the book. Like, this girl is a psychopath. Like, some of the notes I've written, like straight up written, no in the margin, like I'm reading it like this, like, no, I don't like this book. That's where it's getting real creepy. Overall, I would say, as you can tell, I'm struggling here. It's 300 pages of reading through like your eyes like this, feeling very uncomfortable, and reading about topics that could be quite triggering or upsetting. I think I get the meaning, if there is one, because the men that she is photographing are placed in positions that are stereotypically the position that a woman is put in, one of vulnerability, one of weakness or exposing them and being very sexualized. The stereotypes of genders are switched, and I believe there's a commentary on essentially men underestimating women, and even when this woman is straight up saying, I did this terrible thing, you should be scared, men will laugh in her face and be like, ha ha ha, aren't you so funny and autistic? I get it, but did I need to read 300 pages of it? No. And I didn't enjoy it. I genuinely didn't enjoy it, but it has brought out all of the emotions that I believe the author would have wanted to have brought out, and I'm still thinking about it, and I think I will think about it for a long time after. So if that was the goal, the aim, then claps all round. But for me personally, I do not enjoy reading this kind of book. I have realised. I know that there are also like thrillers, because this was my thriller pick for the month, and honestly, I don't even think it's a thriller. It's more like a psychological horror. So I think I want to try a thriller that is more of like a mystery vibe, like your Girl on the Train vibes or Gone Girl vibes, that kind of thing. I think I want to try one of those because I've never really read one of those before. As a first thriller horror, this was diving in the deep end, and I felt sick. It made me sick. So well done, I guess. Well done. Oh, and also, to be fair, I couldn't put it down. Like, I was reading it and I was like, oh, but I like kept flipping the page, you know. On that, I don't want to talk about this book anymore, man. I really want to read something, honestly, quite like airy fairy now. So I might go off of TBR. I've seen this book called Picking Daisies on Sundays, which sounds very like teehee, and I really want a teehee book right now after that. So I might read that. I might start it on my Kindle and order it in the physical copy. Maybe. I'll see. I'm going to have a think about what I want to read next, but I do really want something a bit more like airy fairy cutesy vibes after that trauma that I've just witnessed. I've heard people talk about that. Sarah Caroli talked about that. She really enjoyed that as like a palate cleanser. I've got some of the other books on my TBR are Babel, Poet X, Pride and Prejudice, and the non-fiction book, and they're all quite like heavy, and I honestly just need something really light after this. Oh, and also Magnolia Parks. I could do Magnolia Parks too, but even that is dealing with like a toxic relationships. I'm gonna have a look on my like romance reading list and see which one I fancy, because I honestly just need... There are moments where I was like, that's kind of genius. And the ways that she speaks about London made me laugh, because it's kind of how I feel about London. But yeah, I was mainly underlining things, and cleverly done, but like made me feel ill. So I was like underlining it like, this is crazy, this is madness. It was less of like, I know sometimes when I annotate books, it's like, oh my God, that quote is so nice. Like, oh my God. That was not, no. And maybe I'm really vanilla. Maybe I'm like the most vanilla person. I think I'm more like a strawberry. And I think this is like dark chocolate. Wild. What a wild ride. I was visibly shocked by a lot of the things. So, yeah. It's up to you if you dive into that hole. I'm digging myself out of it as we speak.